Yeah, Rich put this out about Chicago PD, like, just abandoning 911 calls. And I know that Chicago has seriously gone to shit. I didn't think it went this bad. No, Garrett, I am, but I won't have time. And it won't have cooked long enough tomorrow. It's like it literally came out today. Tomorrow it wouldn't have cooked long enough. So let's hear about this. I'm guessing this is gonna burn Rich something fierce, considering. So let's jump into this.
You know what I expect to happen when I call 911? The police to show up. Unfortunately, if you're living in Chicago, that's not the deal. Especially if you have the Chief of Patrol, John Hine, here, telling his patrol officers, no, don't go to those calls. We don't want you protecting people. So much for the protect and protect and serve.
Oh God, is this like something I thought I heard about where it's a 911 call comes from a house that has like a Trump support sign in front of it or a MAGA sign or something that the police were told not to respond if they had like a MAGA flag or something in support of Trump? Oh God, is it that one? Because I heard about something like that. I thought that was a while ago, though. But is that what this is, I wonder?
Am I right? Because that's exactly what happened last week. When a 911 call came in saying, hey, we're being surrounded by a group of people, they're ramming us with their vehicles, we need some fucking help. And Patrol Chief Hine said, no, hey, we're not.
Hold up. This imagery requires, I'm going to hang out over here for a moment, just in case, if all of his visuals are going to be over there, because this deserves its view. Oh, it's the ICE call. Okay.
And Patrol Chief Hine said, no, hey, we're not going to help those people at all, because that's totally not our job and what we're supposed to do. What a piece of shit. But before I get into this deep dive of absolutely ridiculousness, which is turning into what seems like a mild cover-up, first, a word from this video sponsor. You ever feel like you're stuck in a bad habit just because it's convenient? Trust me, I get it. The relationships I've had with previous women. But that's why I tried Fume Zero, a single-use flavored air device with no nicotine, zero vapor, and zero batteries. It's not a vape, it's something completely different. It's as simple as pick it up, draw it through your mouth, enjoy the flavor, exhale, and that's it. No smoking, no charging, just pure flavor and a satisfying fidgety feel. My favorite part is it won't break the bank at $24.99. Way more affordable than any bad habit that I've tried.
Okay, am I crazy? Hold up. Let me see something here.
Air device with no nicotine, zero vapor, and zero batteries.
Where is it?
It's not a vape.
These are disposables. Oh, are these disposables? I think they are. So now they're doing disposables because you remember the before it was they had cartridges. These aren't the cartridge ones. These are disposables. So now they're doing disposables as well.
Way more affordable than any bad habit that I've tried. Women. My personal favorite flavor right now is crisp mint. It's super refreshing, but you can also grab other flavors.
And it's only good. It's good for 10 days.
Mango. Whatever.
Yeah, basically, Revan, it's like disposable vapes.
500,000 people make a positive change. And Zero is the most accessible option yet. With Fume Zero starting at just $24.99, it's the simplest way to try flavored air. Zero nicotine, zero vapor, just flavored air. And a better habit to reach for. Try it now at tryfume.com/products/Fume Zero or scan the QR code. Are you ready to be disappointed in the Chicago Police Department's hierarchy? I am. Not the patrol officers at all. They're out there trying to do their job. But the administration. Well, come on in. The water's fine. If you don't mind floating pieces of shit around you. Allow me to paint you a picture.
Oh, we got the Bob Ross here. Yes! Bob Ross is back. Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Is Cosmic still here? Shit, is Cosmic still in the chat? Atanashi, is Cosmic still in the chat? Okay, he may not be. Atanashi, I need you to send Cosmic an emergency DM. Okay? Okay, I need you to send Cosmic an emergency DM. I pray to God he's got Discord on his phone. Send him an emergency DM that he must demand when he goes to the Unsub show that Rich wear the Bob Ross hair. That Rich must wear the Bob Ross hair. Remind him. Tell him to remind Rich that the strays have not forgotten about the Bob Ross hair. Thank you, Atanashi.
So we can both understand this show a little bit better. ICE are doing raids in Chicago. Operation Midway with the Texas National Guard is coming in, and ICE agents going in, trying to get rid of all the illegal aliens that are committing crimes. And I'm not saying all illegal aliens are committing crimes. I'm saying specifically they're going after illegal aliens, people that are in the country illegally, that have already committed crimes like armed robbery, burglary, shootings, sexual assaults. And they're wrangling them up to get them the frig out of here because, hey, if you can't play nice, you don't get to stay.
One thing I think I should, I feel like I'm not point this out, but a suspicion that I have when it comes to these ICE raids. I legitimately don't think that the ICE raids that we have been seeing in the last several months are any different than ICE raids that we've seen in the past. In the past, like 15, 20 years. ICE has been doing raids like this for the past 15, 20 years. So the current ICE raids that are occurring are not unusual in nature. The only reason why we're hearing about them is because Trump was very vocal about them, and the news media is latching onto them and giving them like 50 times more the coverage. So yeah, like the ICE raids in and of themselves that we are hearing about are not unusual. Trump's doing it now. Biden did it before him. Trump did it during his first term. Obama did it during his term. It's not unusual. Okay, these ICE raids are not unusual, but because the mainstream media has a fucking hate boner on for everything that Trump does and thinks that everything that he does is horrible, and not actually look objectively and go, okay, this thing is terrible, but this thing's actually good. And so they basically have their cameras on lock, like following these ICE raids wherever they go. And so they're getting 50 times the publicity than we've seen in the last 15 years. That's just something I wanted to point out, that before we delve into this, when it's dealing with the ICE raid, these raids are not unusual. They've been done to this degree in years past. That's just something I wanted to preface here.
Doesn't seem like such a radical idea. Well, just under a week ago, one of those operations are happening where ICE agents are going out looking for a dude. They find him, they're gonna snatch him up and grab him and get him out of here for all the crimes that he's committed, to include being here illegally. Well, what happens? Well, it turns out that all these ICE agents, while they're trying to effect this arrest, get absolutely ambushed by a massive crowd who end up surrounding all these ICE agents, throwing bottles and smoke bombs and rocks at their cars.
No! This is what people were trying to give Asmongold shit about. So this is the incident that Asmongold was talking about, where he said that if people were that if these protesters wanted to start throwing bottles and rocks and shit that could injure the ICE agents, that he felt the ICE agents had full authority to draw their weapons and defend themselves, and people started attempting to dogpile Asmongold, saying he's a racist and every other istophobe because he said that these ICE agents had the right to defend themselves when they are literally being attacked. Okay, that's this incident. Okay.
Having two separate cars ram into the ICE agents' vehicles
Oh,
in
okay,
order to
hang on. Okay, he's gonna be putting all the stuff on the right hand side there. I'm gonna move over here. Twitch chat, I'm gonna move you down to the bottom. I'll move you down to the bottom so we can see all of this. So Twitch chat, you're gonna hang out there for a little bit.
separate cars ram into the ICE agents' vehicles in order to stop them. And during this chaos, rightfully so, the ICE agents are like, holy shit, we need some backup.
Yep.
Boop, boop, boop. 911, let's get the local boys over here to break this up so that we can get out of here. We're starting to get overpowered. But unfortunately for those ICE agents, the boys in blue backed down. And not because the patrolman's fault, not wanting to get in there or being afraid or saying this is politically motivated. I don't know. No, from their leadership. Meet Patrol Chief John Hine. He's a piece of shit. Hey, John, you're a piece of shit. Can I make that any clearer? Not only are you now hated by every ACAB anti-cop person, but now you are disliked by every actual police officer that has ever done an ounce of work. You stupid, cowardly fuck. Jeez, AC, you're a little pissed off right now. What's going on? I'll tell you why. Well, you see, originally when the 911 call came in from ICE agents saying, hey, we're being overrun, rocks, people throwing stuff at us, rammed by vehicles. The outstanding dispatchers from the Chicago Police Department started sending cars left and right.
They ran the federal agent off the road. They fled on foot westbound 37th Place from Kedzie. It was a male Hispanic younger wearing all black clothing.
But then something happened. Tiny Dong John got involved. And what did he say? He said, wait a second. We're not going to get involved with this. This is an ICE thing. We're an anti-ICE city. Our governor's saying we shouldn't support ICE. Our mayor's saying we shouldn't support ICE. And our police chief was put in charge by the mayor. And I'm an idiot who can't think about the negative repercussions for not answering violent 911 calls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell dispatch, don't send those officers there to help them. Those ICE agents are on their own, which to me and every other person.
Okay. What the actual fuck? This is stupid on so many fucking levels. Like, number one, you're fucking over fellow law enforcement. Like, this guy literally was being derelict in his duty. Literally, there was a call for assistance, and this commanding officer said, fuck them, they're on their own. That right there is fucking dereliction of duty. Right there. That's dereliction. Number two, yeah, I would wager that every single person under his command right now fucking hates him. Because not only were they told don't help someone that's actually calling for help, which is the very thing that police officers are supposed to do, but it's also fellow fucking law enforcement. But now the cops are looking like shit too because of this guy. Yeah, most sane people like Rich are going to say the cops are not at fault here. The officers that tried to respond to this are not at fault. They tried to do the right thing. And their commanding officer ordered them off. Do you really think that the fucking psychos out there that are just drinking the Kool-Aid are going to look at this logically and go, the cops tried to do the right thing, but their boss called them off? They're going to go with, well, they should have disobeyed their boss. They should have just ignored their orders and gone to help ICE and said, fuck their boss because the boss obviously doesn't know what's going on.
I'm certain that protect and serve doesn't include the phrase, unless we don't like them.
No shit. And also, do you really, did this patrol commander not think that by doing this, by pulling all of his officers off of the call to go assist these ICE agents who were calling for help, do you really think that that's not going to cause the president to go, okay, do you want to fucking play that game? How about I send even more ICE agents in, or how about I start deploying military into the city? How about I assert like I'm pretty sure he's already did was he able? I can't remember. Was he? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he already deployed military into the city. What makes you think he's not going to deploy more? What makes you think that there's not going to be repercussions on a federal level due to this? Like this commander needs to be fired. He needs to be fired, and I'm not sure if there's something that he could be. I'm not sure if there is a if he could be charged with a crime in this instance. I'm racking my brain real quick to like if I can just go off the top of my head for a crime. I think there may be. I cannot recall exactly what the statute is, but I do believe that there is a statute of failure to respond. I believe a police officer can be charged criminally in the state of Illinois if they refuse a call for if they refuse an official call for help, be it through 911 or over the radio. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know what the specific statute is. Rich may say it, but I do believe that there is a criminal statute in the state of Illinois there where you as a police officer can be charged if you basically refuse to answer a call for help, or if you refuse to answer a dispatched call. I'm pretty sure you can be criminally charged for that.
In law enforcement is the most cowardice.
No, giggle fingers, you're misunderstanding. I'm not talking about the patrol officers that tried to respond in order to stand down. I'm talking about the commanding officer that made the order to stand down. I'm thinking he may potentially be able to be charged with a criminal offense for telling those officers to stand down. That's what I'm thinking of. Not the patrol officers.
Other person in law enforcement is the most cowardice, shitty, slimy thing you could ever do. Oh, hey, do you need help? Fuck you. You're on your own. That's what John said. See John here? So this jizz.
Yeah. And what Rich is okay. Are there any police officers in my chat right now? Out of curiosity, is anyone in my chat right now a police officer? Because I know from having spoken with police officers myself, when you're running solo on a call and that call goes sideways, now, and even if that call does not go sideways, if a police officer encounters a suspicious individual, or suspicious individuals plural, like say they pull over a car full of gangbangers, all of them have an attitude. All of them getting an attitude that looks like they may get a little froggy. That police officer naturally is going to call for assistance. If no one responds to that police officer's call for assistance, that cop is going to get scared because that just turned into a potential 4-on-1, and that police officer might not be going home that day. So yeah, if a police officer calls for like that is like repeating what Rich said. When a police officer calls for help and there's no response, that is literally a nightmare scenario for a cop. That is a situation where a cop literally does not know if he or she is going to be going home going to be going home that day. When they call for help and there's no response, they don't know. When that happens, they can't be sure they'll be going home that day. That is a terrifying situation.
Named John tells dispatch, who's already sent officers to drive over there and assist those ICE agents who are being overrun by a mob of people, ramming them with their cars, and says,
which is deadly force. Which I will point out, Rich is not saying this, I will point out.
ICE should have opened fire. The police would have come real fast because now there are dead bodies on the street.
Well, Wolfie, what I was going to say in respect to that, the moment people started ramming the cop cars with their own vehicles, that is now deadly force situation. Ramming a cop car with someone ramming a cop car with a vehicle is considered use of deadly force. and the police can respond in kind when someone uses a vehicle in that manner because it is considered a deadly force situation. So yes, the ICE agents would have been fully justified by the law. The moment those people started ramming their cars, they could have immediately drawn and just magged up into them, and it would have been a justified shooting because those people used deadly force.
A mob of people ramming them with their cars and says, nope, 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 stop them, stop the patrol guys, push them back, push them right back to where they were. We're not doing any of this. Screw them, they're on their own, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
I could go on for an hour about how absolutely disgusting that is. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine calling 911 saying, hey, you know what? I'm a Republican in a Democrat-run city. I'm being attacked by Democrats, and some fucking jizzbag in a police uniform as an administrator, not a beat cop, not a worker, some jizzy admin is out there saying, well, as a Democrat, I don't really believe that this Republican should have the same rights or protections that I should have. So I'm not going.
Okay, can I point something out? Can I point something out? What Rich is saying, like, I get what Rich is saying. Rich is saying that the commanding officer is basically considering all people of ICE as Republicans. That's how Rich is viewing it. Like, that this commanding officer is a Democrat, and he views all ICE agents as being Republicans by default. Fact is, number one, doesn't fucking matter what their politics are. When you're in law enforcement, your politics do not fucking matter. At all. Okay? Your politics are blue. And not Democrat blue. Your politics, when you put on that uniform, are police blue. Which means that you protect those that need to protect, you arrest the criminals that have committed a crime and need to be arrested. And if your fellow police officers call you, you drop fucking, if your police officers are calling for help, you drop fucking everything and you go help. Those are the only politics that matter as a police officer. The fact that if this guy really was like, I'm a Democrat and I think all ICE agents are Republican, number one, no, politics don't matter. Number two, how does he know all the ICE agents are Republicans? Just because someone becomes an ICE agent doesn't automatically mean they're Republican. There is such a thing as shades of gray in terms of a person's individual political ideology. Maybe they're a Democrat, but they're a moderate Democrat, and they believe in the rule of law. You know, kind of like how I don't have a political affiliation, and on some things I agree with the Republican side, and on some things I agree with the Democrat side. But I am fucking neither. Like, the ICE agents could be that. Not that political affiliation has any bearing whatsoever when it comes to law enforcement. So I felt the need that I needed to put that up.
Republican should have the same rights or protections that I should have. So I'm not going to send my officers there to assist them. Do you see how all the negative potential outcomes that could happen snowballing from that? You see that? Do you see that, John? Maybe when some people call for help, or anybody calls for help on 911, you just fucking go there. You just fucking go there. Oh,
yes.
Not John. John's smart.
Oh, now we're over here.
Where are they? I think they're talking about us. No way.
John, the chief of patrol, is so smart, he said, don't help out people in need. Don't help out people getting assaulted. Don't help out people getting their vehicles rammed by an unruly mob. What a jizz. What a fucking jizz.
God.
Now you might say, wow, hey, see, how could it possibly get any worse than that? How could it get worse?
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you. Would it surprise you to know that the woman, one of the two people ramming their cars into these ICE agents' vehicles, well, she was already known by law enforcement. Miss Miramar Martinez was already posted all over social media and in a whole bunch of groups that are protesting ICE. Hey to all my gang, let's fuck those motherfuckers up. Don't let them take anyone. So now,
Boy,
this massive gang attack seems more like a planned and orchestrated event. Good thing you didn't help out
huh?
those federal officers in your city on a planned orchestrated event from a
My
known
grandma
agent.
was right. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Anybody that has an answer before hearing the question is an idiot.
Yeah. And again, this is not Democrat. This is not Republican. This is law enforcement. Politics have no place here. In the law, when it comes to matters of law enforcement, politics go the fuck away. You are a cop. You are a law enforcement agent. You're not political. Law enforcement is supposed to be decidedly apolitical. If you're going to be law enforcement and you're going to be wearing your politics on your sleeve, maybe law enforcement's not the job for you then. Maybe that means if you're gonna be political as a law enforcement officer, that means that you can't be objective. If you're gonna base all your decisions based on politics, then you shouldn't be in law enforcement, because law enforcement is specifically an apolitical agency. Politics should have absolutely zero bearing in how you conduct yourself on the job.
About those federal officers in your city on a planned orchestrated event from a known agitator, John.
But wait, there's more.
Because almost immediately, the administration and the Chicago Police Department and the governor's office and the mayor started trying to put out the fires and saying, whoa,
of course.
Wait a second now. We were just sending officers to the outskirts of that environment to check it out, not get involved, but maybe get involved, but just to look around. We didn't pull them back. No, God.
So that was a fucking lie.
Yeah, this is going to be a shitstorm. Chicago PD has already looked like shit. This just made it 10 times worse.
We would never send officers there and tell them not to go and assist. No. They were there monitoring the situation to assist. Yeah. Monitoring it, right? Okay. Well, thank God that there's some fantastic officers in the Chicago Police Department that took screenshots of their CAD or computer-aided dispatch. Think of it like an email that you get for each call that you go on that gets updated with more and more information. Cacao!
Here we go. Hi, Canton. Okay, please. Chief of Patrol, no units will respond to this as related from blankety blank. So no units will respond to this call. Oh.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Boy. Caller is one of approximately 30 armed Border Patrol agents who are being surrounded by a large crowd of people requesting CPD. Oops. Right when.
What's that say? Right there, below me? For October 2025, Police Chief of Patrol, no units will respond to this. And in case you can't read, there's audio. Play it.
99.
Yeah, send the cars in that direction. Have them stay put 2 or 3 blocks away, all right? Have them hold tight until I give you further direction, please. So the Chief of Patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
For 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
And even then,
Watch. What, in 4K and in high def? Oh, I can't. Okay, I want to hear how the mayor, how the chief, and how the governor are going to try and spin this, because telling him to stay on the periphery. No, the chief of patrol literally said, we're not sending units over there. Flat out. He said it flat out over the radio.
That was just like the tip of the iceberg. The solid, chunky base of came from the governor and his fucking little pet going on the news saying, Well, you know, none of this is true. Homeland Security, HSI, and ICE, they're all making this up to make us seem bad.
DHS says that CBP officers shot and wounded a woman in Chicago yesterday after, they say, she allegedly rammed a law enforcement vehicle. The spokesperson for DHS, Tricia McLaughlin, accused Chicago police.
The more you around, the more you're going to find out.
Vehicle. The spokesperson for DHS, Tricia McLaughlin, accused Chicago police of leaving the scene and refusing to assist agents in securing the area. What do you know about this incident? Were federal agents boxed in and assaulted?
It's really hard to know exactly what the facts are, and they won't let us access the facts. They are just putting out their propaganda.
Motherfucker, you pulled their backup away. Your chief of patrol literally said, everyone back off, we're not responding. Why in the fuck do you think they would share any information with you whatsoever? In what twisted, fucked up part of your brain do you think that they would share any information with you whatsoever when your own commanders are saying, fuck them, they're on their own? Are you, like, I would ask, how could you possibly be this stupid? But clearly, you are this stupid. Okay, with the fake news stuff, don't call it yet. All he did was he stated what DHS said and asked the governor what's going on. Okay, so far, only a question. All he's done is said, this is what DHS is stating about what occurred and what happened with CBP. What is the response? That's literally all he has said. Like, you want to criticize the media? I'm all for criticizing the media when they pull spin. Do it when they actually pull spin. So far, all he's done is asked a question about the statement by DHS. Like, rein it in. I get it. The news agencies love the spin. Do it when the spin actually happens. Hasn't happened yet. You're like, keep things logical. Don't get emotional just because you see the CNN symbol. If you're gonna get hot over this motherfucker's brain dead fucking words about, bro, I don't know what's going on. The feds won't share information with us after we abandoned them, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know why in the world they would do something like this. If you want to get pissed off at him. This dumb fat fuck that's pulling this bullshit. Carte blanche there. But otherwise,
And then we've got to later determine what actually happened.
On Saturday, they escalated even further by shooting a U.S. citizen. They claimed it was defensive fire. But frankly,
yeah, with video footage to back it up, showing them ramming the cop cars, you fucking cunt. Granted, this mayor is blatantly fucking corrupt. It's already been proven this guy is blatantly corrupt, and he has one of the lowest approval ratings in Chicago history. So, of course, he's going to put the spin of they shot an American citizen after supposedly, when there's actual video footage of these people ramming the cop cars. Like, hey, fuckstick, I'm going to believe the video footage of the scene over you every fucking day of the week.
U.S. citizen. They claimed it was defensive fire. But frankly, we cannot trust anything that comes out of the administration.
But wait a second, doesn't that go directly against that little audio clip we just heard?
So the chief of patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
For 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
And you know what else? The following day or two later, the chief of police, the commissioner Oh, the fucking Chicago Police Department came out
Oh,
and said
boy.
this.
So although we do not engage in immigration enforcement, we are going to enforce the law when the laws are violated. So let me be clear to the public about certain things. Federal agents are officers. They are agents of law enforcement.
Yes.
If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions.
Okay. So far, everything he is saying is correct. So far, everything he is saying is absolutely correct. So how's he going to fuck this up?
Do not box in any law enforcement officer.
Geez, that's oddly specific of him to say, considering that the governor and his little toadies were saying that none of this happened at all, that HSI and Kristi Noem were all making up stuff on their social media to get us riled up. And Trump's bad, which had nothing to do with any of this. I mean, you can say Trump sucks as much as you want. He had nothing to do with this individual incident of police officers being called away from assisting federal agents. Oh, but let's...
And again, notice that the governor and the mayor both of them basically blamed Trump. Both of them threw the blame at Trump for the ICE agents doing their job. Remember that. They blamed Trump. When again, I will repeat, these ICE agents have been doing this job, doing these raids during Trump's administration, during Biden's administration, and during Obama's administration, and even in W's administration. This is what ICE does. They locate the illegal immigrants, they arrest them, and they take them to holding for deportation. This is not new. But because you have activists in positions of governmental authority, all of a sudden, now it's all the administration's fault, and the ICE agents who are responsible for doing immigration enforcement all of a sudden should just not do their jobs because we're DEI. Because we love DEI, we love woke, and we think that Chicago should just be a lawless state. And that there should be no immigration law in the city of Chicago. And of course, they default to blaming Trump instead of the fact that these are laws on the fucking books.
This is all orange man bad. Obama deported more than any other president in history.
You're repeating what I have said. You're literally repeating what I've said. There has been ICE deportations with every president in the last 20 plus fucking years. But because you've got these news agencies that are like, all they do is anti-Trump day in and day out, is they're giving so much more coverage and they're activizing people, and that's why you're seeing these protests and everything else.
Let's continue with this story, right? So here we are in the thick of things. ICE agents surrounded, beer bottles, smoke bombs, rocks, cars ramming them, calling out for help. Well, what happens when help doesn't arrive? Well, one of those cars goes to ram the freaking ICE agents over and over and over again, and now the ICE agents are out of their car because they're...
Let me see, No Shadow. You got this. Let's see. Ethics criminal complaint number is 833. Okay, that's the telephone number. Okay, there we go. Criminal code violation 50 ILCS 705/6.3, police failing to respond, and state code for mutual aid, chapter 33. There we go. So I knew there was something in the ILCS. I knew there had to be. I couldn't remember the specific code, but that's it. Criminal code 50 ILCS 705/6.3. So this patrol commander should be arrested in accordance with that state code violation. He should be in cuffs and he should be in jail and he should lose everything. There it is. This patrol commander broke the law.
Stuck and screwed. They're like, oh, what are we going to do? They had to leave one of their vehicles, which was later completely destroyed. Thanks a lot, John. They ended up having to shoot that crazy broad, Martinez, because she was ramming somebody else. Maybe I lost you there because I'm getting a little irritated. You have a massive event of baggery going on, and the police being told don't assist them. What do you think's gonna happen with that massive amount of baggery? Is it gonna grow and get worse and potentially cause, I don't know, like a lethal force incident? Yeah, which is what happened, isn't it? People ramming cars, not stopping. Eventually, ICE agents have to fire on dumb mumbo jumbo brain Martinez and clip her in the fucking arm or whatever it was. She's fine, like I give a shit. But all that could have potentially.
I mean, she's lucky that they didn't fucking mag dump her. Like, can we recognize the extreme amounts of control that the ICE agents exercise? Is the fact that all of them did not fucking mag dump that driver's seat? Because yes, they would have been justified to do so. Again, use of a vehicle in that matter is considered lethal force. It is. If you use a vehicle to assault a police officer, that is considered lethal force. Police officers are fully justified in mag dumping your face. They are fully justified in that. By, what's the word I'm looking for? Escalation force. Via escalation force by every metric, they would have been fully justified to just mag dump in her face. And in response to what you were saying, Merlin, the federal violation would be against the people that attacked the ICE agents. The federal charge would not be against the patrol commander. That would be a state charge, not a federal charge. So the federal crimes would be laid against the protesters. It would be a state crime against the patrol officer or the patrol commander because the patrol commander did not directly attack the ICE agents. He would get hit with the state crime under the 50 ILCS because that would be a state crime of an officer not refusing to do his job.
Arm or whatever it was, she's fine, like I give a shit. But all that could have potentially been avoided if Jizzy John here, that's his name, write it on every fucking bathroom door in Chicago. Jizzy fucking John here.
Huh. Listen to Richie. Rich just sounded Chicagoan when he said that. Listen to when he said, write that on every door in Chicago. He sounded like the way he said that sounded Chicagoan. Listen to the way he said it and tell me I'm wrong.
If Jizzy John here, that's his name, write it on every fucking bathroom door in Chicago.
Yeah, listening to it again, it's a mix. Listening to it again, it's mixed. I could hear the Chicago, but I could hear the New York. At the very end, I heard the New York. The door, there was like a blend. I could hear a blend there. There was a blend of a Chicagoan accent and a New Yorker accent. Yeah, the door, that sounded New York. On every door. That sounded New York, but write it on every. It started off sounded a little Chicago in there, Rich, but you finished off strong with the New York. And thank you, Atanashi. Thank you very much.
Jizzy fucking John here told his fucking officers, don't help federal agents. Don't help your brothers in blue, even if they're on the fucking federal side. No. Now, in its finale, some people were still trying to say, wait a second. That Chief Jizzy John, all right, he was actually acting lawfully because of Illinois' Trust Act, which was passed in 2017 when
Wait. Sin sheriffs of two Illinois counties, Opal and Stevenson, for violating Trust Act. Trust Act mentioned to limit state and local law enforcement's participation in federal immigration enforcement. Among other things, law prohibits law enforcement from holding someone just because of a request. Okay, already I can tell you this doesn't work. Already I can tell you Trust Act does not apply. The Trust Act does not apply in this situation in any way, shape, or form. At all. This was not ICE asking CPD to participate as in ICE activities. This was not ICE asking CPD to detain someone for the purposes of ICE enforcement and helping them with deportation. This was ICE saying, we are under attack. We need assistance because we are under attack. So whoever said that they worked within the Trust Act is fucking stupid. Like, let's read. The goal of the Trust Act is to foster confidence between law enforcement agents and state immigration communities by ensuring that interactions between immigrants and law enforcement do not lead to immigrant detention or deportation. So yeah, whoever's suggesting that the Trust Act is protecting this patrol commander is a fucking moron. Anybody can read this and go, yeah, CPD wasn't called to engage in ICE activities. CPD was called because law enforcement was under attack and they needed assistance. These are not the same fucking thing.
being a sanctuary city was just the coolest. Let me give you a quick breakdown of what the Illinois Trust Act was about. Its purpose
I wonder if you'll
is to
use the
limit
Supreme
local...
Court ruling of law enforcement having no duty to protect and serve as an excuse?
Brethren, I don't know. I do not know. Theoretically, it might not work because even if they go with the Supreme Court ruling that that law enforcement is there to protect property and not people, property was damaged. Property was damaged in the form of the ICE vehicles. So even if they try and say that law enforcement has no duty to protect and serve, and they're only there to protect property, property was damaged. And so the CPD still had a duty to act.
Police involvement in federal immigration enforcement and protect undocumented residents from deportation based on interactions with local law enforcement. Key, local law enforcement. And its key provisions are...
Yeah, and Seb, that's what I'm referring to, is no constitutional obligation to protect individuals, but they do have to protect property, and those vehicles that were getting rammed are property in the city of Chicago. So I think even if they try to pull that shit, they could be countered with, okay, there was property big damage. Why didn't you respond? Because they do have the constitutional obligation to property. I believe that was the constitutional obligation, Zeb. I believe it was a duty not to protect individuals, but to protect property. I think. If I'm remembering, because we had this discussion several weeks ago about the Supreme Court ruling, I believe the Supreme Court ruling was property, a constitutional duty to protect property, not individuals, is I think how it was. So.
Enforcement. Key, local law enforcement. And its key provisions are, key again, it prohibits law enforcement from detaining...
Okay. Wait. Why are they pulling Flossmoor into this? What? That... Why the fuck is Flossmoor being pulled into this? Flossmoor Police Department abides by the Illinois Trust Act of 2017, state law that prevents local law enforcement from collaborating with federal immigration. Okay. Well, Flossmoor is a suburb. Flossmoor is a suburb of Chicago. So I'm just wondering why Flossmoor got pulled into this. I'm guessing this was probably Rich just found like an article in regards to the Trust Act that was, this was probably put out by Flossmoor's like a community thing, and it probably just details probably the best source of detail regarding the Trust Act that Rich could find that was plain English and not the legalese of the Trust Act itself. It probably breaks it down, but I'm sorry. That just surprised me because, like, this is in the area where I used to live. Like, I didn't live in Flossmoor, but I lived in, these southern suburb areas because you guys know I know about I've been to Crestwood. I was talking about Crestwood before, and I've been to Flossmoor. I've been to Homewood. I've been to Olympia Fields. I've been to the Heights. I've been in, it's like that Chenowise area of the southern suburbs. That's where I grew up. Yes, yes, Garrett. Flossmoor is considered a very nice community. Yes, it is. But again, Flossmoor is not on the hook here. This Chicago PD. I'm guessing like the town of Flossmoor or the village of Flossmoor probably just put out something, in regards to, in like their community like newsletter talking about the Trust Act. And again, this is probably the most plain English descriptor of it that Rich was able to find. It's just I haven't seen that town name in a long time, and it threw me for a second because I haven't talked about I haven't talked about Flossmoor or Oldfields or Homewood or the Heights or Crestwood or any of those areas. Alsop. I haven't talked about any of those areas for a long time, and it just threw me off. It's just a reminder of home. But yeah, Flossmoor when you ask, yeah, Flossmoor is a very nice community. It's considered a more Flossmoor is considered more of an middle upper class community.
Individuals based on immigration detainers or warrants not issued by a judge. So, if Jizzbag John here wants to say, but I was just following the Trust Act. No, because the first clause says you just can't detain anybody based on immigration detainers or warrants not signed by a judge.
Yeah.
So that means you can still go and assist a federal agency in their duties when they call out for help because they're being run over by a mob and getting smashed into by vehicles. I can't say this enough. This fucking moron said people are getting rammed with vehicles, and I'm not going to go and help with that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Key provision 2. It forbids law enforcement from holding someone solely on a request from federal immigration agents like ICE. Once again, this is a mob attacking somebody, not the Chicago Police Department detaining somebody for ICE. This is, I need help, I'm having vehicles run me over. Not, hey, can you help us get this warrant done? Can you help us kick in this door? I need you to hold this person in your holding cell for the next couple hours. None of that. It is just, hey, we're being beaten and broken and rammed with fucking cars, Jizzy John. We need some help because people are gonna get hurt, which they did.
Yeah.
So, good job, John. Good job, fucking John. And the fucking administration from the Chicago Police Department, we used to look up to you. You used to be great. You were like New York City to us smaller cities. Chicago PD, you don't fuck around. And now you're doing...
Yeah. What Rich is saying is the most heartbreaking part for me. Is how much Chicago has changed. Because, Chicago PD used to be one of the best. Yeah, Revan, yes, it was. It used to be. Chicago PD was, like, held in very high regard. Once upon a time. Like, maybe, 20 years ago. Maybe about, like, 20 years ago, Chicago PD was held in very high regard. No, Zeb, it was. Like, again, like, we're talking, like, 20 years ago, but it like, Chicago PD was considered some of the best. They've taken down mob bosses, for God's sake, and granted, we are talking about the 1940s, but the 1940s, 1950s, we are, with Capone, but it's, you know, they've taken down mobsters, they've taken down organized crime. They, you know, they didn't take shit. They didn't take any shit. Like Chicago PD used to not take shit at all. They used to be good. They used to be a police officer. They used to be a law enforcement agency that was respected. So, well, okay, Zeb, bear in mind, when I'm talking about the Chicago PD in this way, I'm not talking about in the upper ranks where you're seeing the corruption, like with the mayor, like when Richard Daley was in charge of it, or whoever came at, or Lori Lighthouse. Yeah, I'm not talking about those the upper level corruption. I'm talking about the guys on the street. I'm talking about the beat cops on that work in the street. I'm talking about the detectives working the crimes. I'm talking about the working men and women of Chicago PD. That is whom I'm referring to. Well, I need Zep. I can't. I haven't been in Chicago for years, so I don't want to commentate whether it's the same as now as to how the street, how the beat cops and how the detectives operate now. I don't want to. I can only commentate on when I used to live there. So that's this is what I'm referencing. I'm not talking about the corrupt upper echelon and the corrupt, you know, government of Chicago. I'm not talking about that. That's a whole different thing. Okay? I'm talking about the guys working the streets, the detectives working the scenes. That's what I'm referencing.
To us smaller cities. Chicago PD, you don't fuck around. And now you're doing this shit. Now, once again, I need to make this crystal clear. Administration, chiefs, anybody with a star on their collar appointed by the mayor or the commissioner of their entire police department. They're administration. They're not workers. They're penny pushers, and they're people that decided they were going to take a step back away from the streets and try to run things. They are not the 911 call takers. They are not the guys on the ground in the streets jumping out and putting their fucking skin on the line. And I can tell you from one fucking guy to another, the amount of Chicago beat cops and detectives and fucking guys in cool jump out boy units are furious over this, and they should be. Fuck John, fuck the administration, fucking fire them. All the rest of you guys wearing the badge that are captains, lieutenants, detectives, detective sergeants, and patrol officers, I 100% support. And I hope that this loser piece of shit is quickly removed from your ranks. Best way to support the channel is get yourself a t-shirt. Halloween Angry Cops with the Drillo Lantern. Ooh, Drillo Lantern. I like that. And Space Marine Drill Sergeant. Like I said before, they're only here until Halloween and then they're gone. Get them while you can. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave a comment. Tell me what you think about Jizzy John. Tell me what you think about Jizzy freaking John. Jizzy John. Jizzy John. See you next time, weirdos.
Oh, boy. See, I didn't realize things were going to get that hot on that one.
Now I know why Christopher Nolan based his version of Gotham on Chicago.
Yeah? Oh! Yeah, kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I turned off the Twitch chat by mistake. Whoops. Oh, yeah, that one did go a little bit long. That one did need go a little bit long. That's okay. It's something we needed to know about. Because I only heard about the ICE agents coming under attack. I didn't hear about this fucking scumbag, shit-chewing, cock-gobbling commander that pulled his guys back and refused to let his guys go help fellow law enforcement. That part I didn't know about. And I'm glad I found out about it.